Good evening, members of the Peralta Board of Trustees, Chancellor Gilkerson, Merritt College faculty, staff, administrators, family, friends, and most importantly, the Merritt College class of 2024. That's right, that's right, that's right. My name is Dr. David M. Johnson, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the president of Merritt College. And tonight, I will serve as the presiding official for tonight's ceremony. I'm so honored to welcome you to Merritt College's 2024 commencement. It makes me incredibly proud to see so many students improving their lives through the power of education. So let me be the first to say, well done, 2024 graduates. And at this time, we will have our welcoming remarks. So I take great pleasure in introducing the following speakers. You've heard their names before, but we're going to start with Dr. Tamil Gilkerson, our Chancellor, followed by the Honorable Paulina Gonzalez-Brito, followed by our Academic Senate President, Tom Rembarger, followed by the Classified Senate Vice President, Ms. Jamila Sela. Let's start with Chancellor Gilkerson.
Well, thank you, Dr. Johnson. Can I get a little noise in here? Let's go, class of 2024! Let's go! Welcome. It's such a privilege to be here. And first of all, let me set a point of privilege. So thank you to all the families and loved ones of our graduates. Graduates, join me in a big round of applause for your family and friends who joined you today. Yes, absolutely. And I want to take a moment. Graduates, behind me are the faculty and classified professionals and administrators who have served you in your classrooms, ignited your learning, and helped you get the things that you needed on your journey. Join me in giving them a round of applause and saying thank you. My great honor and privilege to serve alongside each of you. Thank you so much. You know, graduates, today we celebrate your remarkable achievement in completing your degrees and certificates. I know, right? Exactly, yeah. We will confer upon you the rights and privileges of college graduates and acknowledge your extensive and profound knowledge in the field of study and beyond. I am confident that you are equipped to navigate the complexity, diversity, and change within our local and global communities through your critical thinking and the integration of all that you have learned. And while today may feel like an ending, it is truly a beginning, the next chapter in your extraordinary journey. While this is a moment of pride and celebration, it is also natural to feel the weight and uncertainty of what lies ahead. As you move forward from Merritt College, I hope you find confidence in your achievements and peace by staying rooted in your innate brilliance. May you find tranquility in observing and embracing the entirety of your journey. When you encounter the mountains, valleys, broken branches, and blooming flowers of life, may you invest energy in what can be changed and find rest where it is needed. Being rooted and grounded means recognizing that there is space to breathe and honor yourself right here where you are. Even in this moment, there is freedom to make choices that discover deeper self-discovery and learning. You have demonstrated that you are capable of flourishing wherever you are planted. I gotta tell you though, transitions can sometimes make you feel stuck. I'll speak for myself. Sometimes transitions can make you feel stuck. But remember that everything is interconnected. See life in all its beauty and imperfection. Hold both shadow and light. Have the courage to grieve what went wrong and find hope in what was right. Today is a celebration of what went right. Let's celebrate it for sure. So let today be today and tomorrow be tomorrow. Allow yourself to just be even in the midst of the uncertainty. Rely on even the simple things. The grass under your feet on days, the wind on your back, the sunlight on your skin. These small details may seem random, but they are part of a larger story, reminding us there is much more to life than what we have seen. As the first in my family to graduate from college, I never imagined I would one day become chancellor of the Peralta Community College District. Thank you. All right now, yeah. But see, that's it, right? We are each part of a greater narrative, a whole story that is unfolding right here in the wild of things. And today is just one chapter in your beloved journey. Never forget that you are courageous, capable, and powerful beyond measure. You are the change makers, the advocates and innovators. You are the authors of your lives with the intelligence, determination, and grit to succeed in any endeavor or challenge. You give me hope. I am honored to celebrate with you. Congratulations, class of 2024. And now I'm pleased to introduce again the Honorable Paulina Gonzalez Brito.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so proud to be here representing the Peralta Community College Board of Trustees who are here today. I want to honor your achievements as Merritt College graduates today. We gather to celebrate not just the culmination of your years of hard work and dedication, but also the remarkable spirit of resilience that has brought each of you to this momentous occasion. Resilience is more than just bouncing back from adversity. It is the courage to face challenges head-on, the strength to keep moving forward in the face of obstacles, and the determination to never give up, no matter how daunting the journey may seem. Each of you sitting here today embodies the essence of resilience. You have overcome countless obstacles, weathered storms, and navigated through the ups and downs of life with a fierce determination. Whether it was balancing the demands of work and school, overcoming personal hardships, or pushing through moments of self-doubt, you have shown incredible resilience in the pursuit of your goals. But resilience is not just about overcoming challenges. It is also about learning and growing from them. It is about embracing failure as an opportunity of growth and using setbacks as stepping stones to success. As you embark on the next chapter of your lives, remember that it is not the obstacles that you face that define you, but how you choose to respond to them. Never lose sight of your dreams and aspirations. Hold on to your passions, your convictions, and your values. Let them guide you, inspire you, and drive you forward, even in the face of adversity. And lastly, as I leave you here today onto the next phase of your life, remember the importance of giving back to your communities and making a positive impact on the world around you. Whether through your chosen career path, volunteer work, or simple acts of kindness, each of you has the power to make a difference. Now today, you are graduating from the homes of Black Panthers, Huey Newton, and Bobby Seale. That's right. At a time when the world needs leaders who are willing to do what is right, even when it's hard, and in a world that often feels divided, remember the importance of standing up for what's right and leading with compassion, solidarity, and empathy. In closing, I want to congratulate each and every one of you on your remarkable achievements. Thank you.
At this time, we're bringing to the podium the president of the Merritt College Academic Senate, Dr. Tom Rimbarger.
Thank you, President Johnson. Welcome to the graduates, congratulations. Welcome to the Board of Trustees and the other dignitaries here today. So I am the president of the Academic Senate, as President Johnson said, and this is actually my 5th year in the role, but this is the first time actually I've been on stage at commencement.
Give it up for Tom, come on.
So the first 2 years, they were swallowed by the pandemic. Year 3, we actually had the graduation at the parking lot of Merritt College. And then last year, I actually was ill during the commencement ceremony, so I wasn't able to make it. So I'm finally here. So a little bit of perseverance on my part, hopefully echoing sort of the perseverance that you've all put in your educational journeys thus far. So one of the things that I've said in those recorded speeches those first 2 years that I want to say live is, the Merritt College is an open admissions institution, and that means if you're willing to put in the work and apply and come to our college, we teach you, right? So we teach to the top 100%, right? We teach everyone. And the success of each and every one of you is important to us. And then what does that mean? What are we trying to equip you with, right? And I want to bring up a quote of actually a historian. His name was Arnold Toynbee, and his name was kind of in the mouths of everyone in the 1950s and 1960s. He's kind of fallen out of favor a little bit, but one thing about him is he was a very productive scholar. And so someone asked him, well, how are you so productive? And he said something that is very simple sounding, but I think is also pretty profound. And he said, today, I learn everything I need to know so that I can do what I need to do tomorrow, right? And if you think about that, that's kind of how we live our lives on a day-to-day basis. Well, what are my goals, right? What do I need to get done today so that I can get done tomorrow, so that I can get done whatever happens the next day, build that momentum towards achieving our goals, right? When you are in a class and you get a big assignment, and at first glance, it's like, oh man, I could never do this. I could never break this down. I mean, there's just so much, right? But then you step back and you take stock and you kind of break things down. And then, you start making those little achievements, getting those little victories. And then suddenly, the assignments are done and you got an A on your paper, right? So that's something I think to keep in mind, is just sort of, always sort of have that kind of forward-looking mentality, and that will serve you well whether you're going to go on into your educational journey or whether you have a job waiting for you at the end here. Whatever you do, we want to make sure that you have the tools to figure out what you need to know and then how to learn it, right? And so kind of in summary, we want you to have the tools to be able to acquire expertise, right? To acquire mastery. And so whatever the subject is, hopefully we've instilled that in you. And so with that, I'll conclude once again with my congratulations to the class of 2024. And I'll turn things back over to President Johnson.
Before I bring up the next speaker, something just dawned on me listening to Tom. I should have said this at the beginning because it was just a weird coincidence on the calendar. By show of hands, how many people still have finals to take? Okay, and papers to turn in. Okay. So let me be the first to say, not gonna do my Liam Nielsen good luck, but good luck. We're pulling for you, and we're very happy that you decided to show up tonight, even as we're coming down to the finish line, so we want you to run through the tape, right? All right. So next, we'll bring up Ms. Jamila Sela, Vice President of the Classified Senate.
Good evening, graduating class of 2024. Congratulations to each of you on your accomplishment that has brought you upon today's space and grace. My name is Jamila, and I'm honored to serve as your Classified Senate Vice President. Merritt College supports student success and puts students first. As I stand here with pride, remembering the emotions of becoming a first-generation graduate that has now paved the path for future generation graduates. Merritt College represents change and hope. It fuels students with ambition to become contributors, to become a better version of themselves with education, to acquire and cultivate education in your home, your heart, and with your community, in order to become change agents for social justice. Today, we planted seeds of hope in our community, and all of you become colleagues. And our dear, sweet Oakland, it is with honor I leave you with these words. We plant seeds of hope in our community, and we hope to see them grow. Thank you, class of 2024.
And not only is that your vice president of the Classified Senate, that's also a Merritt College alum. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Shirley Nash Weber, California Secretary of State. Yeah. Now you have her bio, but I still wanted to highlight a few things. Dr. Weber was nominated to serve as the Secretary of State by Governor Gavin Newsom in December of 2020, and she was sworn into office January 29th, 2021. Voters elected her for a full term the following November. She is the first Black Secretary of State. Yeah. Yeah. And only the fifth African American to serve as a state constitutional officer in California's 173-year history. Yeah. Trailblazer. Dr. Weber attended UCLA, where she, this is unbelievable, received her BA, master's degree, and PhD from UCLA by the age of 26. Yeah. Prior to receiving her doctorate, she became a professor at San Diego State.
Okay, you're on now, Secretary. Go ahead.
Uh-oh, we're not ready for you yet.
Hello and congratulations to the graduates at Merritt College.
I'm just going to sit down and let her take
I am honored
it.
to be with you this evening. So sorry I'm not there in person because there's nothing I love more than a graduation. And the impact that has on the faces of the families and the graduates who are so excited about having accomplished one of their goals. And so I can only feel the excitement that's probably there from a long distance, but having done a lot of graduations personally, I am just excited about the fact that this is a moment in your life and in all of our lives that will have an impact forever. I'm Dr. Shirley Weber. I'm California's Secretary of State, the first African American to serve in such a position in the 173-year history, I believe, of California. And I'm honored to have this opportunity really to be a part of California's life and to serve in this capacity to up and down the state and to talk about voting and opportunities and all those wonderful things. You see, I come from a background very similar to yours. I'm looking at the data of this school and the diversity in this school, and it's just amazing that Merritt still has this tradition that I remember when I was a student at UCLA some 50 years ago, and the kind of reverence we had for Merritt College and being on the forefront of so many issues and social justice issues and those kinds of things. And even down in California, we looked up to Merritt College because of the graduates that were there and the issues you were constantly raising that really inspired all of us to do better and to think about who we are and what we meant to our communities. I come out of the projects, the Pueblos of Los Angeles, and that's where I was raised for a portion of my life. They were just building projects at the time, and so my family was poor. There were 8 children, but prior to that, we had just come to California from Arkansas, where my father had escaped from a lynch mob. And that and his life as a sharecropper meant that he had very limited education, no opportunity to register to vote, was constantly being challenged, and his desire for dignity and purpose in his life caused him to get into many confrontations, at which point the message was that he was going to be lynched in Arkansas. And so he had to be sneaked out of Arkansas at night and brought to California, where my grandmother, my mother's mother, my maternal grandmother lived. And 3 or 4 months later, he actually brought the rest of his family, all 6 kids and my mother, to California. And it was an interesting journey. I was just a little kid, and my sisters and brothers talk about what it was like, because I was the baby of the family at the time. But my father had a passion about education, and so I come out of that tremendous desire for people to do better, to take advantage of every opportunity that California has for them, and to share with them what it means to be a part of that group, that class of individuals who have decided to take education to another level. Like I said, and even though we were poor, we were in the projects, the pueblos, my family, my father particularly, believed very strongly that his kids should get an education. And he fought very hard to make sure that none of us felt that we had to go to work and do those kinds of things, but really to finish high school and try to do trade school and all those kinds of things. And the fact that I, the 6th child, decided that I was going to take on probably the largest challenge was to go to UCLA. And my whole family, and not just my dad and my mom, but all of my sisters and brothers, saw this as what Maya Angelou called the hope and dream of the slave, that I would actually achieve a bachelor's degree from UCLA. Little did we know at the time that it would lead from one thing to the next, and obviously me getting a doctorate from UCLA at the age of 26, and finishing, actually becoming a professor at San Diego State University at the age of 23. So I see the impact of education. I see the impact that it had on my life and the opportunities that were there and available. And so when I talk to you about graduation, I talk from a very personal experience, because I know what it takes for a family to educate a young person, what it takes for every member of the family to put their hope, their dreams, their resources into actually producing a graduate. And as I stood last Saturday, I received UCLA's highest alumni award at an event on Saturday night. And it was interesting to me because all those in front of me had stories to tell of their parents who were scientists and who were musicians and who were researchers and all kinds of amazing people, lawyers, those kinds of things. And I just was a kid whose parents were sharecroppers, you know, from Hope, Arkansas, who had very little education, but had dreams bigger than themselves and were willing to put every bit of energy into those programs and those graduations for their children. And, you know, my dad never missed a graduation. And it was, and I tell people that think, well, that's a nice thing. But no, when he came to graduation, he had to take a half day of work off that he didn't get paid for. There were no days of business and leave and all those kinds of things that people had a chance to take. My dad had to go into his office, and every time he went in, they knew that one of his 8 children were graduating from high school or college or somewhere, because he went in advance to tell him that he would be off for a half a day. And that meant he meant a half day's pay. But this was an important occasion for him. So where sometimes people will say, well, I don't want to be bothered with graduation. My father wanted graduation. He wanted to be present. He wanted to know that he had put in the hard work and his kids had done that. But most importantly, he wanted to know that he had invested in a good future for him, that the kinds of things he suffered and the degradation and the humiliation, but also the discrimination that he felt, that his children, if they felt it at all, would have the resources and the skills to fight back, and at some point would make their community in which they lived a better place. So he sacrificed, and he took and lost a half day's pay just to see every one of his kids graduate. And he loved graduation more than anything. And there wasn't a graduation of a grandchild that he had that he found out about that he would not show up for, because he felt this was a part of his legacy. And this also was the efforts that communities put together to make sure people are successful. You know, I pay tribute to my sisters and brothers who helped me immensely, who pushed me forward, who couldn't do my homework, couldn't do my work for me, but who could push me forward and use their personal resources to help me. I pay tribute to my church, who never let an opportunity pass where they didn't read something that I had done in the community or some award I had received. They wanted me to know that they took personal pride in what I did and they contributed to my success. And so every member of community, church, family looked forward to this graduate. I was the first graduate of my dad's family. and the first one to get a PhD. And so they look forward to the fact that this one is going to stand against what the odds were, that the things that had been negative in our lives, that people had challenged us, that I was going to fight back, and I was going to have the resources to do so. And I did that, and it was difficult. There were lots of battles I had to fight for my place to be at the graduate, but it was worth it in the end. As I tell all of my friends, as I look back and realize that I've spent 50 years as a university professor and a politician, it has been worth it in the end, because I have been able to put forth for California some of the most important legislation that we've had, dealing with the issues of reparation, dealing with the writing votes of those who are incarcerated, all of those kinds of things, dealing with every issue that we have always dreamt about and had issues about and wanted to have a voice for. I've introduced that legislation, and with my colleagues, we've passed it and made it law in California. And so I take pride in the fact that all these folks invested in this little girl from the projects, whose parents were barely able to read and write, but who had hopes and dreams, and had teachers from Mississippi and Alabama at that time at Holmes Avenue Elementary School who invested in us and who told me that I'd have to be twice as good just to be considered. And they were so correct. They were so correct about what the challenges I would be faced. But they gave me the skills necessary to be able to do that. I want to say to you that the college degree will open up doors for you that you have never dreamt about. It is unimaginable what you will see as you continue to navigate the academic arena. If someone had said to me, Shirley Weber, you're going to be Secretary of State, I would still be laughing. I would still be thinking, are you crazy? How am I going to be Secretary of State? First of all, I was, when I became a university professor, somebody said, what? I'd said the same thing. Oh my God, I'm at the university already and I'm teaching. And then from that to develop Black studies for all of California and for the nation, that in itself was I felt enough. That was more than I had thought about ever becoming. But it all opened up because I could stand shoulder to shoulder with those who had been to the universities, and I could fight back. And in fact, when I fought for ethnic studies at all of the Cal State campuses and the community colleges, and it was interesting because the governor asked me so many questions about this bill, and I answered them. And he said, how did you learn all this stuff? How did you know these things about academic freedom? How did you learn this? And I told him, I said, the unique thing is that I'm just almost this kid who sat by the door and watched and learned and then implemented what I had learned. I had served on every committee at the university. So when it came time to deal with the trustees of the University of California, I knew exactly what they were going to argue. I knew their history. I knew what they were involved in. I knew academic freedom better than they did. And so it was really quite interesting that I had taken all of this knowledge that I had learned and fighting for battles for Black studies and students and ethnic studies and all of those things. I took all of that knowledge that I had, that they had given me, and used it to hopefully to elevate us to a level that we could fight back and finally get ethnic studies required at the Cal State system, and then eventually K-12 and now at the University of California. So what I say to you is that you take your knowledge. It's going to equip you with skills that you can only imagine. It's going to equip you with the ability to argue and to understand the challenges that you face, and be a good warrior on behalf of your community, and to do some things that you never dreamt about. And so I'm looking forward to you basically once again carrying the banner, once again picking up the baton, moving forward when those of us feel we have fought enough, as we see with the civil rights individuals who fought for everything we've gotten. And now it's passed on to me, and hopefully I'm passing it on to you, this understanding that this is our responsibility, this is our democracy, this is our freedom, this is what we do for a living, this is what we make the best of, not only for ourselves, but for the next generation to come. So I'm excited about being with you. I'm excited about the fact that your future is going to be brighter than you could ever imagine. And I'm saying that to you because I feel that way about mine, that I could never have imagined who I am today. I could never have thought that this would be a dream that would come true. And because I wasn't necessarily dreaming it, but others were dreaming for me and putting me in a position and a place with the skills and knowledge and the support to represent California as its first African-American Secretary of State. I am pleased to be with you. I congratulate you and your families. Hang in there, because this is going to be a wild ride, but it's going to be a good one. And you enjoy every moment of your education and make us all proud, as I'm sure you will. So once again, congratulations. I'm Shirley Weber, your California Secretary of State, and I look forward to you joining me wherever I am in terms of making this a better state and a stronger nation. Have a wonderful, wonderful graduation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Weber, for those words of wisdom. I got to do a check-in. Y'all all right? Okay. Y'all good? Okay. Before we bring up the next speaker, I do need to say something. This is like a little transition. But I wanted to make sure that you know this, that everybody in the audience knows this before we move on. And I say this at every graduation. I want to say something about these robes that you have on, the significance of these robes. I don't want you to take that lightly or downplay or forget that you've earned the right to drape yourself in that robe that you're wearing. And it's no small thing, because there are only 3 walks of life that qualify you to wear that robe. The clergy, who we entrust with inspiring our faith and inculcating our values. We let the judges wear robes, who we entrust with upholding our laws and ensuring justice. And finally, we let our scholars wear the robe. And we're entrusting you with preserving our knowledge and advancing our understanding. So before we go further, I just want to welcome you all into the company of scholars, class of 2024. So next, we will hear from the Associated Students of Merritt College President, Mr. Marco Loza. Come up.
Hello, Merritt College graduation class of 2024. Congratulations to each of you on your accomplishments that led you to today. For those who don't know me, my name is Marco, and I am honored to serve as your student body president. Merritt College Thank you. Merritt College was very instrumental in my family's success, in my mother becoming a first-generation graduate and paving the path for me to become a future second-generation graduate and future, bear with me, alumni, thank you, of Merritt College. Reflecting on the first year at Merritt College, I did not believe in myself and lacked the confidence and told myself that I would end up giving up before I even started. That is all in the past, and now I see that it was all in my mind, that the only thing keeping me from becoming great is my doubt. Realizing that it has allowed me and everyone here to work towards their accomplishments and lead our own path to liberation and to inspire generations to come through education. However, today is not the day to reflect on the past. It is the day that you all embrace the future as you stepped into, bear with me. Sorry, some stuff got deleted. All right. Embrace the future as you step out into the next chapter. You bring with you the knowledge, power, and social justice skills that Merritt College educators have instilled in you to brighten the future of tomorrow and overcome any obstacles that derail you from your success. Congratulations, class of 2024. Here's to the future. Thank you.
Okay, moving along, getting into it. So now I want to welcome our Vice President of Instruction for Merritt College, Lisa Cook.
Graduates and guests, in your commencement program, you will notice small stars next to some of the names. These stars signify the honors that students have received based on their cumulative grade point average, or GPA. Graduates with a 3.75 to 4.0 GPA have 3 stars next to their name and have received highest honors. Woo! Graduates with a 3.5 to 3.74 GPA have 2 stars next to their name and have received high honors. You may notice that some of our students are wearing gold stoles. These students have a grade point average of 3.5 or higher also, and some are members of the Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society, Beta Theta Lambda chapter for 2-year colleges. Graduates earning a 3.25 to 3.49 GPA have received honors and have 1 star next to their name. At this time, I would like to ask all students with a 3.25 to 4.0 GPA and students wearing gold stoles and tassels to please stand and be recognized. Look how many. Woo! I know. Okay, amazing class of 2024, you may now be seated. Wow. Academic tradition requires that we recognize students who distinguish themselves by achieving the highest honors of scholarship in the graduating class. These individuals are honored by having achieved the highest academic GPA of 4.0. Valedictorian is an academic title given to the student with the highest grade point average in the graduating class. The salutatorian has the 2nd highest GPA. We will now hear speeches from our valedictorian and salutatorian student representatives. This year, Cassandra Dorsch will provide the valedictorian, and Asia Beckford will provide the salutatorian speeches on behalf of the class of 2024.
Good evening. Welcome, graduates, family, friends, honored guests, Merritt College administration, faculty, and staff. My name is Cassandra Dorsch. I am honored and humbled to be speaking in front of you all today as this year's valedictorian. To the class of 2024, we made it. Aristotle once said, "Good habits formed in a youth make all the difference." Well, it's a good thing I'm a woman who majored in science and not philosophy. Valedictorian. That word may have you believing that I was a model student, but I wasn't. I have always had learning challenges. I was diagnosed with ADHD and learning differences at the fine young age of 35. It's all right though, because I was too busy being a mom at 19. So school had to wait. In all seriousness, what I like to say is that a model student can be any student. We are all model students. Through life may take you down an uncertain path, but that path is still filled with endless possibilities. After After having my son, it took 14 years for me to return back to college. Despite this little baby face, I was afraid that I was too old and worried I would not be able to pass my classes. But I was wrong, and I did well in all my classes too. Thank you. Everyone here today has made an impact on who we are today. During our college experiments, we have had given the opportunity to see who we are and who we are becoming. At times, we may run from our dreams because of the imperfectionness and challenges we may see. All we have to do is look forward and keep moving. I'm standing here before you today because of my family, instructors, Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society advisors, chapter advisors, to our professors, advisors, leaders. Thank you for your endless patience and support. Your assistance and encouragements are the main reasons why we are able to fulfill our potentials before we could see it. I would like to thank my son for being the sole reason why I decided to return back to college. His epilepsy diagnosis led me to my interest in radiology. I also want to thank my classmates who became my friends and family. I'm beyond thankful to my family and friends who supported me along this incredible start of my college journey. Thanks. I'm sure everyone has been asking all of you guys the same question. What are you going to do next? This is a very different question from who are you going to be? What I want all of you to consider is, what does it mean to be a human being and not a human doing? Be rooted in the greatness and potential of who you are, not what you have done, and because all of our journeys are different. Don't be afraid to fail. I have had different jobs end. I've also dropped classes, moved schools, made new friends, found new opportunities. Each time I thought I failed, but I was really learning about a new part about myself. My passions at Merritt College have been to continue building up our communities and bringing people together and striving to make someone's day better. After graduation, we learn how to move forward. We will all need to embrace change to be able to see and focus on all of our growth. Graduates, it isn't just about saying farewell to college. It's about stepping into the future that's filled with endless possibilities. Cheers to saying goodbye to long nights of studying, endless hours of work, the hard times. Tell me, it was not easy, but it was worth every minute of it. Look at us, class of 2024. We are here. So graduates, let's take this opportunity to give each other a big high five. We have achieved all of this for us. We will go forward, ignite a bright world in this future. Everyone, give each other a high five. All right. Thank you, Merritt College, for pushing us to strive for excellence daily and allowing us to find ourselves in this process. We all have made incredible memories and friendships. This truly was an experience I would not trade for the world. To my fellow graduates, all of the sacrifices are temporary. but we will be college graduates forever. Keep taking chances, keep growing, but please, finally get some sleep. Thank you, class of 2024.
Did you get a medal? There you go. All right. Where's Asia at? All right. Come on, Asia. Come on, do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Good evening. It's a long road. Oh boy, it's an honor. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, faculty members, and my fellow graduates, my name is Asia Beckford, and I'm honored to be the salutatorian. When I got the email, I was like, oh my God. Anyway, I'm gonna start. As I stand before you today, I am filled with an overwhelming sense of gratitude, pride, and excitement. Today marks not only the culmination of years of hard work and dedication, but also the beginning of a new chapter filled with endless possibilities. Throughout my journey, 3 words have guided me: passion, pride, and possibilities. Passion is the driving force behind everything that we do. It is what fuels our ambitions, ignites our dreams, and propels us forward, even in the face of adversity. My passion for making a difference in my community, for standing up for justice, and pursuing my dream of becoming a probation officer has been unwavering. It is what inspired me to return to school after almost a 12-year hiatus, to overcome obstacles and never get up on my aspirations. Pride is what fills our hearts when we look back on how far we've come and all that we have accomplished. It is a celebration of resilience, determination, and achievements. I take immense pride in defying expectations and achieving a high honor status at Merritt and being a member of Phi Theta Kappa, as well as the Honor Society. But my greatest source of pride comes from nurturing a blended family with my husband, Adrian, and our 7 children. All the while guiding 2 children, my 2 boys with ADHD, balancing my responsibilities, juggling my disabilities, and pursuing my education. These experiences have shaped me, strengthened me, and made me who I am today. Possibilities are what lie ahead, waiting to be explored and embraced. With our education, our passion, and our determination, the possibilities are endless. We have the power to make a difference, to affect change, and to leave a mark on this world. As we step out into the world, let us remember that our future is ours to shape, and that anything is possible if we believe in ourselves and never lose sight of our dreams. I'm reminded of the invaluable support from my family, especially my parents, Kim, Michael, and Dale Sr., have always believed in me, provided me strength. My brother, Dale Jr., my god-sisters, Rhea, Maisha, Miyata, and Kadeen, have been pillars of my support, offering me along the way. To my cherished friends, Stephanie, Angela, Tanisha, and Tamika, your unwavering support and friendship have been a source of my inspiration. Together, we have shared laughter, tears, countless memories, for which I'm forever grateful. I'm also blessed to have the support of my godchildren who remind me of the importance of pursuing dreams. To my beloved mother-in-law, your wisdom, guidance, and unconditional love has been a source of comfort. I'm also grateful to Dr. David, Miss Doris, Miss Antonia, Sarah Alturk, Miss CJ, Miss Tahita, Miss Silver, and my dear friend Akasha for your unwavering support, encouragement, and advocacy, and friendship has been a source of strength and inspiration. To my administration of justice professors, Miss Elaine Wallace, Joan Johnson, Mildred Oliver, and Drennan Lindsay, you ladies have been the pillars of my educational journey, offering hope and inspiration for my path in law enforcement. In closing, to you, my fellow graduates, as we embark on this new journey filled with passion, pride, and possibilities, let us embrace every opportunity that comes our way. Let us dare to dream big and chase our aspirations, to never settle for anything that we deserve. Together, let us make our mark on the world and inspire others to do the same. Congratulations, class of 2024. Our passion, our pride, and endless possibilities that lie ahead are the keys to unlocking the future which are fulfilled with success, fulfillment, and joy. Thank you.
I'll let you put down the back.
All right. Thank you.
Another round of applause for our valedictorian, salutatorian, and student speakers. Hearing from the student speakers, that's really the highlight of the graduation, right? So with that in mind, I take pleasure in bringing one more up. I'm going to be presenting a future change agent, Merritt College's President Medallion. This honor is given for academic achievement and community involvement. And this evening, I have the honor of presenting it to Miss Karina Laird. Who, if you didn't know, y'all, is also the president of the graduating nursing class at Merritt College. Let's let that be said. So you want it on now? You want it now? There you go.
Sorry, thank you. All right, I want to start off by saying, bear with me, y'all, because I'm a little nervous, okay? That being said, hello, everybody. Today, we gather to celebrate a momentous occasion, the culmination of our hard work, dedication, and unwavering commitment. As I stand before you, I'm filled with immense pride, a sense of purpose, and boundless possibilities for the future. Being the first in my family to graduate from college is a milestone that fills me with pride. But this achievement is not mine alone, but belongs to my family who have supported me in every step of the way. So to my 3 kids, hi, Riley, Kaya, and Cam, saw you guys over there, this is for you. And to my amazing husband, thank you for being my rock through all of this. To my mother-in-law, Amy, thank you for stepping in and allowing me to focus on school, and I thank you forever. Lastly, to my classmates, you guys truly have become a part of my family, and I couldn't have done it without any one of you. Serving as the class president within our nursing cohort has been a true privilege. As you guys can imagine, nursing school is incredibly demanding, requiring a lot of sacrifice and dedication, but I'm here to tell you that it's entirely doable. Our journey has not been without its challenges. We've each endured some of the biggest hurdles that life could throw at us. I myself have experienced personal losses, juggled the demands of 2 nursing programs, all while being a parent and working. It's been a tough road, but yet through it all, the support of the incredible staff here at Merritt College has been unwavering. I'd specifically like to recognize 2 members of our nursing staff, Mr. Bratchett and Ms. Acaro. Your encouragement and guidance through this nursing program and life in general have been invaluable. I'm deeply honored to have received the President's Medallion Award, the Peralta Retirees Organization Scholarship, and the Gracie's Fund Scholarship. These accolades are not just a recognition of my efforts, but a testament to the belief others have in my potential, and I'm forever grateful. Dr. Johnson, the Peralta Retirees Organization, and Miss Grace, thank you. Your support has instilled in me the confidence to pursue my dreams, and I hope to one day return the favor to a future student. To my fellow graduates in the class of 2024, congratulations. Today, we celebrate our hard work, dedication, and resilience. We have proven that with determination, support, and a clear sense of purpose, we can achieve our goals. As we move forward, let's make sure we carry with us the pride of our accomplishments, the purpose that drives us, and the belief in the possibilities that await. We have worked hard, but we made it, y'all. We're here. So let's continue to strive for greatness and to support one another in all of our future endeavors. Congratulations, guys.